What's up, YouTube? Today we'll be looking at the Open Great League once again, and the team we're taking a look at today is Togedemaru, CORVISQUIRE, and Azumarill. Now, of course, the main focus of today's video is going to be XL CORVISQUIRE, the pre-evolution of Corviknight, and a lot of people don't know this Pokemon can even reach Great League eligibility, which is why we're taking a look at it today at Legend Elo, surprising legends with a Pokemon they've never seen before, with access to Peck, Sky Attack, and Payback. That said, I do not recommend this team for climbing whatsoever. It was a fun team to use, and yes, I did actually go positive with it and climb. That's purely because of the surprise factor, and legends are used to seeing the same thing over and over. I will say that while I was doing these battles, queues were taking absolutely forever. There is no one playing at Legend Elo right now, so please submit as many battles as you can this week, as I literally cannot find games. So all I have today is like 6 battles for you, if that. So I apologize about that, but that said, you may notice that ITSAXN is on the screen, and that is because the first battle is up against ITSAXN, and we have some fantastic reactions from him in this first battle. So without further ado, let's take a look.
Alright, this team, like, there's ways they could win, maybe. Maybe. Alright, we got a game. I feel like this team, there's a chance. That is kind of funny that we're seeing, like, an opposing electric steel type.
So yeah, into the first matchup, we've got Togedemaru into Shadow Magneton. So very cool spice from ITSAXN as well. He was letting his...
They're gonna just, like, instantly wild charge?
His stream pick his
Pokemon. Stinger. That probably just guarantees that I lose this matchup now.
So we do get that bait call right here correct, and now he is going to be throwing some energy, but I can let this go because I know I can live any one charge move here. We live the discharge, but he's already at the back-to-back charge moves. So now I'm going to shield this one up and then look to connect with a wild charge. He ends up going for the catch on a Venusaur, but I don't fall for it. I'm just going to connect with a Fell Stinger and leave a wild charge for later. And now in comes CORVISQUIRE.
Whoa. Their Twitch chat didn't make them Twitch picks, did they? Maybe they did. Who am I fighting? Good counting by them. I don't know what moveset this thing has. A Sky Attack, interesting. They get a Sky Attack likely here. I cannot shield this. There's still a move on that other guy. Unless they have, like, a different coverage move. Okay, it is Sky Attack. We survive. Like, not well, but we do.
So I wasn't able to make it to a Payback, unfortunately. Only another Sky Attack, but now in comes Azumarill. All I have to do is shield this up. I'm reading that they're weak to Azumarill in the back because he had 2 good answers to Azumarill already with both Magneton and Venusaur.
Plus Togedemaru. Like, if we're thinking about Togedemaru cores, kind of makes sense.
I would agree, and unfortunately for ITSAXN, he's completely walled in this matchup. Dynamic Punch and Ice Punch are both resisted, so I'm full sending the play rough, knowing that he cannot shield because
Why am
I would
even
get to a
thinking
wild
about having
charge.
even a chance to win this game? There's not a chance at all. Yeah, we'll forfeit that one.
So we do take the win.
That was not the team I was expecting. Who the heck was that? Mark? Ogo, I guess they're just running a crazy team. Alright, well, that was bad. We'll try to win the next one here. He's a Pogo YouTuber. I got some content out of me there, I guess. Alright, well, that was a bad team comp for me. We used Venusaur game, yeah. We did not win it. But we have used Venusaur today, and we've lost to a CORVISQUIRE when we had Venusaur on our team.
And don't worry, I did check with him before uploading it in today's video. But into the next match, we've got Togedemaru into Feraligatr. They're going to safe switch into a Primeape, and now in comes CORVISQUIRE. CORVISQUIRE is a mono flying type, so Rage Fist is actually neutral damage here, but they're running Ice Punch on the non-Shadow. However, I do outpace by 1 single turn, able to make it to the Sky Attack. This is super effective damage, and it will actually grab a shield from my opponent, but I think I can go for a full Peck farm down. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to match shields with my opponent, shield up the Rage Fist, and go for the full farm down, and I do get it. That is absolutely massive. Back in comes for Alligator. I'm going to make it to a payback. This will do some very solid neutral chip to the opponent unless they commit a shield, and they do let it go. That puts them deep into the yellow health range, and now in comes Togedemaru. Togedemaru will get one Thundershock off, and then we'll catch the Hydro Cannon onto the Azumarill, so we don't have to use a shield just yet because we do not know what is in the back. The opponent is staying in, maybe trying to rebank that Hydro Cannon. That's exactly what they're going to do, and in comes a Fortress. So unfortunately, I'm completely walled in this matchup. I did farm up like I had the Hydro Pump just to scare my opponent a little bit, but they're not going to fall for it. They are just going to let that go. Fortress now will be able to lower my attack with a Rock Tomb before I'm able to make it to a second charge move, but because the switch timers are misaligned, I can actually pivot out of this matchup, and then I can look to pick up the knockout with a Wild Charge. The opponent farming up, they're probably close to a double super effective Sand Tomb at this point, but for some reason the opponent over farms, maybe trying to make it to the back-to-back moves, allowing me to get to yet another Wild Charge. Wild Charge picks up the knockout on the Fortress, and now we're going to be able to farm down the opponent, so they will resign the match, and we are able to take that win. Into the next match, we've got Togedemaru into Murkrow. This is another fantastic lead. Peck is double resisted, and so is Drill Peck. This forces the opponent to go for foul plays if they're going to stay in this matchup, but for some reason, the opponent is staying in this matchup. So maybe double weak to the electric typing, or maybe weak to steel in the back. That said, they do commit a shield on the Fell Stinger bait, so I will just match shields. It's actually a Dark Pulse from my opponent, and in comes a Bastiodon. Now, Bastiodon, not a great answer to Togedemaru, especially once our attack is already boosted. So here comes a boosted Wild Charge number 1. That connects, that does big damage to the Shadow Bastiodon, and now we're already at a second Wild Charge. Is Wild Charge enough to pick up the knockout? Yes, it is. Down goes the Bastiodon, and in the back is a Victory Bell. I meant to come in with CORVISQUIRE here, but this is not my CORVISQUIRE. I came into a very poor matchup with a Azumarill. Azumarill would have been fine against Murkrow, so I basically should have just sacrificed my CORVISQUIRE here, but that is okay because I'm able to make it to the Ice Beam, grab the final shield from my opponent, and now I can just come in with my CORVISQUIRE and have the Togedemaru for the Murkrow. So it's going to work out. They are going to throw a charge move here. Because it's a magical leaf, I will respect a potential Sludge Bomb here, but it's an Acid Spray bait, which is pretty unfortunate. Back in comes the Murkrow. I'm going to overfarm and go for the catch of the Drill Peck onto my Togedemaru. Did we get the catch? Yes, we did. That is double resisted. It doesn't look like it, but we do get the full Thundershock farm down, coming out with a Wild Charge loaded. And while Wild Charge is resisted onto the Victory Bell, it does not matter. Togedemaru picks up the knockout with the Wild Charge, and we are able to take that win. Into the next matchup, we've got Togedemaru into a Steelix. Well, this doesn't get much worse, and unfortunately, I'm completely core broken by this Pokemon, so I'm forced to stay in where my fast and charge moves are double resisted with both Thundershock and Wild Charge, and single resisted with Fell Stinger. So I'm going to first boost my attack. I'm then going to throw the Wild Charge on the potential CMB type with the Earthquake, and hope this does enough damage to potentially two-shot once boosted, but no, it's not even close. That said, I will outpace the opponent, and especially when they go for a crunch, so I will be able to connect with a boosted Wild Charge. In comes a Gastron, so my opponent is double ground already. Togedemaru had nowhere to go, but a boosted Wild Charge does put them into the yellow health range, and now in comes CORVISQUIRE. CORVISQUIRE can easily absorb a Body Slam here, no problem. And then I can look for a full Peck farm down to come out with a payback loaded for the opponent. I was trying to go for a Water Pulse catch here, but I'm unsuccessful. That means they will be able to connect with a Body Slam here, but one Body Slam is not going to be enough to knock out. And honestly, having an energy lead on the Azumarill could be nice because the Steelix is already at another charge move. If it's the Psychic Fangs, it will lower my defense, but that is okay because now I can overfarm, connect with an Ice Beam, and Ice Beam from this range will easily knock out the Shadow Steelix. So the opponent actually commits a shield, but these bubbles have put them into the red health range, and I really can't get the farm down with Peck because that is resisted, and I would take too much damage from the Thunder Fangs. So I'm going to look for a farm down here, but the opponent makes it to another charge move on 1 HP. They will get the knockout with the Psychic Fangs, but I can take one. But no, instead, in the back is a Golisopod from the opponent, but I'm already at the back-to-back Sky Attacks because I overfarmed in this matchup. I'm able to outpace them to the first and outpace them to the second. Sky Attack number 2, is it enough to one-shot the Golisopod? Yes, it is. That cleanly knocks them out. Back in comes the Gastron, only to get Peck farmed down, and back in comes the Steelix to get Peck farmed down as well, and we are able to take that win against a double ground team. Into next match, picking up a good lead, Togedemaru into Empoleon. The opponent is staying in this matchup. Because Metal Sounds are double resisted, I'm just going to full send Wild Charges in this matchup in case my opponent decides to no shield, knowing that I can always match shield and I'm never going to be threatened by a fast move farm down. So they do go for the Hydro Cannon on the Sandpitai. In the back is a Florges. I'm going to farm back up to the Wild Charge. This time I'm baiting with a Fell Stinger because Florges love to shield and go for Chilling Water. But the opponent actually no shield, so really great bait call from my opponent. That actually puts me in a really awkward position because my defense is lowered from the Wild Charge in the Empoleon matchup, which means I need to reset this. Fortunately, Fairy Winds are not adding up, but after this second Wild Charge connects, I will need to reset, and I do end up catching onto my Corvisquire. I didn't get the Peck through because I was slow on the switch, but that's okay. We can absorb the Chilling Water, get the Peck farm down, and then does he want to come back in? No, he's going to come in with his third because he does not want the Cresselia onto the Togedemaru, but unfortunately for my opponent, not knowing the moveset here is going to cost him half of his HP. Goodbye, thanks you to the payback, and back in comes the Empoleon. Empoleon will be hit with a Sky Attack unless they commit a shield. They might think I'm already at another payback if they don't know my counts, and they do end up committing the shield. And now in comes a Azumarill to just absorb this energy. We can actually take several Drill Pecks here, and because we've already grabbed both shields from my opponent, all I really need to do is make it to a Play Rough, and Play Rough from this range will nearly be enough to knock out even on the non-Shadow Empoleon. So even though the opponent has a high likelihood to go for a catch here, which they do, very nice catch from my opponent, all we have to do is connect with one final charge move, and now this just means that my Togedemaru is aligned there. But for some reason, my opponent tries to throw on the Sandpitai. I end up catching on the CORVISQUIRE, banking that energy on my Togedemaru. It's just the Grass Knot, which means we connect with a couple pecks, and now we can just look for the full Thunder Shock farm down with Togedemaru to come out with a charge move loaded. And if we don't come out with a charge move loaded, it's going to force the opponent to throw energy on their Empoleon because I will make it to a charge move, and that's exactly what my opponent does, which means now they are energy dry, and if they're energy dry, guess who's going to be able to outpace the opponent? Now here comes a resisted Play Rough, but resisted Play Rough from this range will nearly knock out the Empoleon. One more bubble to farm them down, and we are able to take that win. But yeah, that is XL Corvisquire in the Open Great League. If you haven't seen me showcase this Pokemon before, it is a ton of fun to run. No one expects it. No one knows the coverage. You even heard ITSAXN. He had no idea. He had never seen this Pokemon before. But huge shout out to him. His link will be in the description because he was a great sport about it, and he let me use his footage for this video. But yeah, before I wrap up this video, I do want to say thank you to the expert trainer members on this channel: Benny Hemlock, Dr. Mustache, Eliana, Perry G, Blue Nation, Peter Rushworth, Alright 504, Chompus Clips, and Sons of Code, as well as an extra special thank you to the Legend Trainer members on this channel: Andrew Pitton, Musaju, Noodleman, Speedster, Estros, Fast City Boss, and CD Slaskos. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, peace.